So we should have made class this evening. Alright, the call is now being recorded. Alright, so good morning guys. Today UNILAG constituency, the 9th day of June. Now, I have given you guys the outline. I said word classes, phrases, clauses, sentences, and then synonymy, antonymy, you get all those things. So these are the key areas as well as foreign language. So today we're going to be looking at nouns. So the first thing I want you to know about nouns is that, and traditionally, nouns are naming words. Nouns are naming words. This is the traditional definition. So traditionally, a noun is a naming word. Now, this definition was okay when we were in primary school. It was okay when we were in secondary school. But this is A level, meaning that this definition is not really perfect anymore. Now, when we say noun is a naming word, it simply means that anything we can name is a noun, Abi. That means things like boy, noun, Abi, goats, noun, house, noun, right? Meaning that anything that can be named, anything that can be named is a noun. That is the implication. Anything that is a that is my. Hello, Lucy. Please mute your mic. Lucy, please mute your mic. Hello, Lucy. Okay, very good. Very good. All right. So, can you guys still see the board clearly? Can you guys see the board clearly? Can you see the board? All right, then. I just want to confirm your skills. So, when we say a noun is a naming word, it simply means that anything that can be named is a noun. This definition reinforces the definition I would say a noun is the name of a person, name of an animal, name of a place, and name of a thing. So when we say a noun is a naming word, it reinforces this definition that we have known for a very long time. But there is a problem. The concept of a noun being a naming word means that anything that can be named is a noun. So let us assume we now discuss a very beautiful goal. And then we shout, beautiful. We shout, beautiful after Ronaldo scores. When we shout beautiful, do you know that you are actually named that moment? When we shout, beautiful, the moment has been named, doesn't it? But can we say beautiful is a noun? We cannot say beautiful is a noun. Do you get me? We cannot say beautiful is a noun. So it is problematic when we just say that a noun is a naming word. Nouns go way beyond that. Do you get me? Nouns go way beyond that. So it is important for us to try to define the noun based on how it is formed. So we're going to define the noun based on how it is formed and based on its what? Function. So that is, we say what? Form or structure and what? Function. So we are defining the noun based on its form and its function. Trust me, when you define the noun by taking cognizance of its form and its function, you cannot miss. Those of you that attended the last online class, I told you that the way to actually, know the word class of the word is to look at the function in a sentence. And I also mentioned something. What did I mention? I said, a time will come where I would use maybe the position it is, the word appears, or I'll use how the word is formed to show you the word class of the word. I gave you the example using many. When we're dealing with determinants. I said many could be a pronoun or many could be a determinant. What now tells us whether many is a pronoun or if many is a determinant is the function. How many is used in a word, in a sentence. That's a topic for another time. So, for us to easily know what nouns are, we must be able to what? Identify the forms or the structure of a noun and also the function of what? A noun. Moving on. When we say a noun is a naming word, or we say a noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or things, do you know that there are several nouns that we are ignoring? That are not names of people, that are not names of places, that are not names of animals, that are not names of things. For instance, we are ignoring the concept of what? Abstraction. We are ignoring the concept of what? Abstraction. That is abstract nouns. When something is abstract, it means you cannot see it, you cannot feel it, you can't touch it, but you just know that it exists. For instance, look at the word love. I always say the video is an idiot. You don't listen to the video is an idiot because the video says they say love is blind, but I can see her for your eyes. You can't see love. It is abstract. Do you get me? Love is abstract. Hatred, beauty, success, these things are abstract. Do you get that? Becomes a beauty to the eye of the beholder. Because there is no concretization of beauty. You just know this is beautiful. Another person come and say this is not beautiful. Do you understand me? Another person can come and say this is not beautiful. So there is no concretization of beauty. So this definition, name of a person, animal, place, or thing, does not capture abstract what? Concepts. Hatred, love, beauty, honor. It doesn't capture these things. You get it? It doesn't capture these things. So this definition, you can see that the definition is very flawed. Do you get me? The definition is what? Very flawed. You cannot say, oh, this definition is the perfect definition of a noun. It's not. What about concepts like insects? They said name of a person, animal, place, or thing. Where do we put insects? When I asked this question when I was teaching 100 level students of English, they said include insects as animals. So mosquito is an animal. That's what they're trying to tell me. If we say name of a person, animal, place, or thing, where do we include insects? So what are insects? Insects are nouns. So if we want to include this definition, we can say name of a person, name of an animal, name of a place, name of a thing, name of an insect. It is still not enough to include insects because there are still other things that you cannot quantify or you cannot just describe. What about birds? The Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary separated the concept. Look at it. We have fish, we have birds, we have animal. They separated this thing. If you check the 10th edition of the Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary, you will see that these things were what? Were separated. Fish was defined as what? As a creature that does not fly and does not walk on land. Birds were defined as creatures that was fly with wings. And animals were referred to as creatures that walk. They don't even run. Meaning that reptiles, Like all these amphibian animals that crawl, with our reptiles, were not even classified as animals. That is the definition Oxford gave. So let's assume we want to use that definition of the animal. So that means animals will only make beasts. The lions, lions and some of your friends. You get me? Animals will only make what? Beasts. That means in this definition, we will even have to include birds, we have to include fish. So it is important for us to define the noun in such a way that the definition will be what? All encompassing. Because when you give this traditional definition, you are ignoring so many things that are nouns. Do you get me? You're ignoring so many things that are what? That are nouns. Am I communicating? Hello, you guys online? Am I communicating? I think
Yes, sir.
oh, very good, very good. Rachel,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
you can see the board clearly, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good, very good. If this particular class goes so well, and I'm not able to teach this particular topic online again, we cannot go to a new topic entirely. Yeah, so just try to pay attention. All right, so moving on. So it is important to write this, you can jot this down. It is important to note that the traditional definition of the noun, it is important to note that the traditional definition of the noun is not all encompassing. Is not all encompassing. Is not all encompassing. That is, it does not capture what the noun is in its entirety. It does not capture what the noun is in its entirety. It does not capture what the noun is in its entirety. I hope you guys don't mind write that. Alright, so that is the put a full stop there. To properly define the noun, therefore, we must pay attention to its form and function. We must pay attention to its form and function. We must pay attention to its form and function. We must pay attention to its form and function. So let's go. Form. Let's look at form. Form or structure. One. A noun is a word that can be inflected to form its plural. A noun is a word that can be inflected to form its plural. Let's go. Let's see. We have singular and we have plural. So a word that can be inflected to form a plural is a noun. So let's go. Let's take some of the obvious examples. We have boy, boys, mango, mangoes, lady, ladies. So now is a word that can be inflected to form its what? Its plural. A noun can be inflected to form its plural. Now take notes, take notes. All the nouns the nouns listed in the table, are regular nouns. All the nouns listed in the table are regular nouns. So please, you need to understand the concept of regular and irregular nouns. The nouns listed are regular nouns. Regular nouns. The nouns listed are regular nouns. Full stop. These nouns form their plurals by the addition of s, es, and ies. So they are both are regular nouns. Regular nouns form their plurals by the addition of s, es, and ies. Sit up. Alright. So these are regular nouns. So on the other hand, irregular nouns form their plurals in a variety of other ways. Irregular nouns form their plural in a variety of other ways. Irregular nouns form their plural in a variety of other ways. Let us see some patterns. Let us see some patterns of irregular nouns. Let us see some patterns of irregular nouns. So let's go. We have singular and we have plural. So we have some nouns that do not change at all. Each is sheep. The plural of sheep is what? Sheep. We have some nouns that change the vowel. For instance, man becomes what? Men. Foot becomes what? Feet. So can you see? The nouns are changing. Do you get me? The nouns are what? Changing. We have some that attract what? En. Child, ox. They attract en. So we have what? Children. Little deviation. There was a time in English when the way to form plurals was by the addition of es. Yes, there was a time in English. Do you get it? If you read all those ancient English texts, you might see things like, you might see a lot of en when they're trying to pluralize things. Do you get it? You might see a lot of en. So it evolved. The words like children still maintain the pattern. You understand? Oxen. So we have the addition of en. Do you get it? We have when I changes to e. Analysis. I becomes this. This is still the same thing with this. When the vowel changes, the vowel changes. The vowel sound changes. We have aquarium. So we have um ending. IUM or ending. They usually change to what? A ending. You understand me? They usually change to what? A ending. So aquarium becomes what? Aquarium. But do you know that there are some people that still admit what? Aquariums. Same thing with stadium. Some people will say stadium, and some people will say what? Stadium. Some people say stadium, some people will say what? Stadia. The truth is that language is very dynamic, meaning that it changes. So I need you guys to understand that there is no monolithic standard of using a language. A language is what the users say it is. Do you understand me? An American will pronounce the word car. An American will pronounce the word car. They'll pronounce it like this with the R sound, car. They'll pronounce it with the R sound, car. A Briton will pronounce it as what? Car, without the R. Without the what? The R sound. Does it mean that the American is wrong? No! Even when a Nigerian pronounces things, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are wrong, but at this point, we are going to assume we are wrong. But if you get into higher institution and you do anything in English, you will find out that these things are seen as the norm. Language is dynamic. Language is not static. Language is not the same everywhere. So we have which other words? We have just basically these things again. So these are irregular. So we have like F ending, life. F ending becomes what? V E, right? Lives. Nice. Not what? Lives. Okay? Which other word? Very good, very good. So, my assignment, my assignment for you all is that you should learn as many irregular nouns as possible. 50. Give me 50 examples of irregular nouns. You get it? 50. Not that assignment. So you submit it this evening. It's very easy. You just need to go online. Do you understand me? You just need to go online. The essence of this assignment is for you to familiarize yourself with the types of irregular nouns we have. Please click on the basic.
Excuse me, sir, how do you say the assignment is?
5 irregular nouns and 50 regular nouns. 50 examples of irregular nouns. Let's submit this evening before today's class. What do you think class today?
Okay, so just 50 regular nouns.
Yes, 50.
All right.
All right, then, very good. Very good.
Okay, sir.
So moving on, we have been able to give the first definition of a noun according to its form. That is, a noun is a word that can be inflected or that can be changed to show its plural form. You get me? It is changed to show its plural form. So still on that form too, let's look at the second definition. Have you written everything on the board? Have you been able to write everything on the board? Can I claim? Those of you online, can I claim the board? Rachel, can I claim the board?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right then. So the next definition of a noun according to form, the next definition of a noun according to form that we're going to give is that a noun, that's number 2, a noun is a word that can be inflected to show the genitive. Underline the word genitive. A noun is a word that can be inflected to show the genitive. When you come across the word genitive, we simply mean what? Possessive form. Genitive simply means what? Possessive form. So in UNILAG post UTME, when they see genitive, when you see the word genitive, you know we're talking about possessive form. You know possessive, like if somebody owns a thing, you add the apostrophe at it. For instance, I own an estate. So you can say what? Uncle Dozier's estate. Look at it. This apostrophe, this is the genitive. So a noun is a word that can be inflected to show its genitive. Let me show you something. So we have the first one. Nouns can have singular forms, I mean. We can have nouns as singular forms. Boy. We can have nouns as plural forms. Boys. Now we can have nouns as singular genitive. Singular genitive or singular possessive, which is what? Boys. For example, boys' cat. That's the boys' cat. And now we can also have nouns as plural genitive. More than one boy, I mean. Boys' cars. So a noun, the simple definition is that a noun is a word that has singular form, plural form, singular possessive or singular genitive, and plural genitive. It can be inflected to show the plural, and can be inflected to show the what? Genitive. You get it? A noun can be inflected to show the plural, and can also be inflected to show the what? The genitive. Can be inflected to show the plural, and also the genitive. Okay. Let me quickly run through these genitive forms for you. Let's just check possessive forms. Let's quickly check possessive forms with dealing with nouns. I think this part will also show. This part of the board will show it, Abby. Hello? Can you see the part of the board I'm cleaning? Those of you online, can you see the part of the board? Please always on mute and tell me. Everyone has left. Are you kidding? Okay, it doesn't matter. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Rachel.
Sir? Yes, sir. I can see the board.
You can see the other part of the board, right?
Yes, sir.
The part that's not written there. Are you the part of the board that's not written there?
I can see the board, sir.
Answer me.
Yes, sir.
All right then. Okay, so let's look at the possessive form of noun. Let's just look at the genitive form. Let's look at the genitive form. So basically, a singular noun, we're going to do it in a very fast way. A singular noun that owns something. Genitives are basically possessives. You get it? A singular noun that owns something attracts the word apostrophe and S. Abi, let's say a boy has a car. We'll say what? The boy's car. This is singular. You see, it attracts the what? Apostrophe and an S. The boy's car. You get it? The boy's car. Now, when we have more than one boy, we're going to have what? It's plural, I mean. This means we have more than one boy. Look at the word. It means we have more than one boy, I mean. This is the plural form. So once we have the plural marker, this S here is the plural marker. Once we have the plural marker, there is no need to add an extra S. So we just put the word, the apostrophe after the plural marker. Because in this case, we are dealing with just boy, singular. In this case, we are dealing with plural, boys. So the apostrophe must always come after the word. The apostrophe must always come after the word we are dealing with. If we are dealing with a singular word, the apostrophe comes after the singular word. If we are dealing with a plural word, the apostrophe must come after the plural word. Is that clear? So this apostrophe does not move. This apostrophe does not move. You know, some people say boys for singular. Then when it's plural, this one now moves to this place. It does not move. We are dealing with one boy here. This is the word for one boy. When we are dealing with more than one boy, this is the word. So the apostrophe is always at the end of the word. Do you get it? Now the difference is that when S does not end when S or a sibilant, this S is a sibilant. When a sibilant sound, what are sibilant sounds? Sibilant sounds are what? Hissing sound. Like Get me? Like and these are like sibilant sounds. Again, these are like sibilant sounds. So when the last word is not a sibilant, most times we just need to what add only the apostrophe. There is only one extra S. When the last word is not a sibilant, there is no need to add what an extra S. That is why in a word like Jesus, they will tell you that you just add words. You just add the apostrophe because it ends with the word sibilant. But they are even wrong. They are even wrong. One of the reasons, listen, one of the reasons we do not add an extra S to Jesus, mind you, there are some conventions that will say this is correct. There are conventions that will say that this is correct. For instance, the Chicago Manual Guide, they will tell you that Jesus with an apostrophe and X is correct. But do you know why it is better to say this instead of this? Now, if you look at Jesus, G, that is this sound, one sibilant. That's another sound, another sibilant. Jesus. That's what another sound. So you can see that in one word we have three sibilants already. We have three hissing sounds already. When we have three hissing sounds, it does not make any sense to add an extra hissing sound. So we have the Jesus is. That's four hissing sounds. It doesn't really make much sense for pronunciation. That is why for words like Jesus, we will just say we should add only the words apostrophe. So this is the genitive. When it is singular, we add the apostrophe and an S. When it is plural, we just add only the word apostrophe. Now, there are some complicated cases. What of a situation? Can you imagine a situation where a singular item has S ending, like Jesus? So most times, when a singular item has S ending, most teachers will say, just add the word apostrophe. For instance, in words like James, Charles, Francis, words like James has a cow, so James car, or James's car. We have Charles car, or Charles's car. We have Francis car, or Francis car. Now, like I said, okay. Good. This one too. I think that is what all right. It's clearer now, Abi, as the board. Is the board clearer, Rachel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is clear.
All right. So, you can see the parts I'm talking about James's car. Now, the truth is that both are correct. That's the truth. Both are correct. Yes. Both of these patterns are correct. It just depends on the convention you're using. You understand me? And when you are writing, if you're writing an essay, you just need to be consistent with the type. If you're using the addition of the S alongside the apostrophe, you have to be consistent. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to advise that you use the first one, just because of Nigerian exams. That's my piece of advice. Use the first one. Now, if you look at James, you find out that there are actually two sibilant sounds. Let's just leave it at that. That's on G, and they are two similar. So the first one is preferable. You get it? The first one is what? Preferable. Though the second one also works. I wish I could share. Let me log in. Let me log in and see if I can share my screen. I want to show you. My dictionary. Yeah, I want to see if I can show you something like dictionary. I just want to show you that both work. Yeah, I want to show you both work.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Both work. Look at this. Saint in England, I would say Saint James's Park. Saint James's Park. You understand me? So both work. Anyone you want to do, they both work. They all work. So if you want to add the apostrophe, if you don't want to add the apostrophe, they both work. Yeah. I personally prefer adding the apostrophe. You know, that's my personal preference. I prefer adding the apostrophe. Alright. So let's move on. We're still doing it now. Maybe some other time I can still teach you more on apostrophe. Because I can teach you more on apostrophe. We'll just decide to have a class on that only. But right now our aim is to define the noun. Okay. So the first based on form, a noun is a word based on form, a noun is a word that can be inflected for the plural and for the genitive. A noun is a word that can be inflected for the plural and for the genitive. Simple as what? A, B, C. Okay, let's go. Functions. Let's look at the functions of the noun. 1. A noun can act as the subject of the verb. It's very important to note the subject of the verb, not subject of the sentence. Not subject of the sentence, subject of the verb. Please, if they give you a noun is the subject of the verb, let's go. Let me show you this. 1. Functions of a noun. Functions. 1. Subject of the verb. It's important for you to notice because if you know this now, you will understand the function of a noun phrase. Because the functions of a noun are the same, are also the functions of what? A noun phrase. Is that clear? The functions of a noun are the functions of a noun phrase. So let's go. Subject of the verb. Please, don't say subject of the sentence. Let me give you an instance. What is the subject? Subject is A, doer of the action, Abi. Doer of the action. E.g., are they at the fruit? Who performed the action here? Are they is the verb, I mean the action. So are they is the doer, right? And this is the subject. It's always the doer of the action. B, a subject comes before the verb in statements. Are they at the fruit? This is a statement. Statement subject before the verb or statement. And after the verb in question, the are they eat the food? Are they eat the food? So a subject comes after the verb in question and before the verb in statement. Okay. After the verb in question and before the verb in what? In statement. That is what? Subject, I mean. So you can just look at these things. Subject, doer of the action, come before the verb in statement, after the verb in question. And lastly, the subject is the part of the sentence that other parts refer to. Look at this. Ade is a boy. Everything here refers to what? Ade. So the subject is that part that other parts refer to. Am I communicating? Am I communicating? So a noun can act as the subject of the verb. Can give the examples I've given. Ade eats the food. Ade is a boy. Subject of the verb. And please, you can just define the subject the way I did. Define the subject the way I did. The word of the action, that is, the performer of the action, comes before the noun in statement, and after the noun in, and after it comes before the verb in statement, sorry. It comes before the verb in statement, and after the verb in questions. And lastly, it is the part of the sentence that other parts refer to. It is the part of the sentence that other parts refer to. Never. Did you get that? So, Nina, you get that? You know the problem. Okay, listen. What is the subject? First, I said a noun is the subject of the verb. That's the function. So we need to know what the subject is. So the subject is the role of the action in the sentence. Look at this expression. I think who performed the action? I did. Very good. So the subject is the role of the action. Yeah. I said the second one, I said the subject is the part of the is what? The subject comes before the verb in statement. The subject comes before the verb in statement, and after the verb in questions. So we have Ade eats the food. What will now make this a question? We have D coming before Ade. The Ade is the food. So it comes before the verb in statement, and after the verb in what? Question. And lastly, a subject is the part of the sentence that other parts refer to. You know, subject is the part of the sentence that other parts what? Refer to. Did you guys get this? Rachel, did you get this? Rachel, did you get it?
Yes, sir. I understand it, sir.
Okay, so next one, that's based on function. A noun, a noun is the object of the verb. 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 Please don't, the way we don't say subject of the sentence, and with that same way we don't say object of the sentence. You get it? Let me give you an instance. Now, let's say in your pursuit UTME, you're given they ask you, what is the function of the underlined noun? You know what you asked. What is the function of the underlined noun? What is the function of the underlined noun? Falado was here yesterday. What's the function of the underlined noun? That's question A. Object. B. Subject of the sentence. C. Subject complement, D, subject, complement, and E, subject or the verb. All right, what's the answer, class? A, B, C, D, or E? Rachel, what's your answer? What's the function of scholarly in the sentence? Rachel, what's your answer? Option 1.
Option E.
Very good. So you know that it's what? Subject of the verb.
Subject of the verb.
Subject of the sentence. Subject of the verb and not subject of the sentence.
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, let's go to the next one. It's actually quite clear. I just want to know another one. All right. So moving on. Next we have is objects. Next we have is objects. We'll do them in class because we need to start maths. So next we have is objects. A noun can function as the object of the verb. A noun can function as the object of the verb. Nena, please come. When you are acting this man, I become no time for laziness, no time for laziness. Let's do, yeah. If you're tired, Rachel, if you're tired, then stand and stretch. If you're tired, stand and stretch. There's no time for laziness. No time. Get me. Alright. So a noun can function as the object of the verb. A noun can function as the object of the verb. A noun can function as the object of the verb, not object of the sentence. Now, under objects, we have two types. We have direct and we have indirect. But before I start explaining what direct and indirect are, before I start explaining what these things are, let me just look at objects generally. What is an object? An object is the receiver of the action. An object is the receiver of the action. Are they slapped? So we have subject, performer, we have the verb, which is the action, and then we have the receiver objects. So the object is the receiver of the action. So a noun can function as an object. Please note, for us to have an object, see, listen, what is the definition of the object? Receiver of what? Action. For us to have an object, that the verb must be an action verb. So if we have something like, Ade is a stubborn boy. If you underline a stubborn boy, this is a noun phrase. If you underline a stubborn boy, you cannot say this is the object because the verb is not an action. So the condition for having object is having an action. The condition for having object is having what? The condition for object is what? An action verb. Without an action verb, you cannot have what? An object. Do you understand me? without an action. So the verb has to be a physical action or even a mental action. But it has to be an action. It cannot be something like is. And then is a stubborn boy. A stubborn boy is a noun phrase, but it is not the object because is, that is the verb it comes before, it comes after, is not an action verb. So at this part, so I believe that you guys can identify objects. I mean, you can identify objects. Let me give you a quick exercise. So we have to tell me which of the sentences we have A and we have B. Which one has an object? We have she broke the cup. She became my wife. So, which one has an object? Which one has an object? Rachel, which of the examples have an object? Is it she broke the cup or she became my wife? Rachel, don't stress me out. You know that I'm not going to be streaming this morning class. Rachel, are you still here?
Yes, sir. Option A.
Which
She
of
broke the cup.
You said broke the cup. Good. That's very good.
Broke is the subject, cup is the object.
All right. So now that we have been able to identify what an object is, you get. Remember that I told you that we have two types of objects. We have direct and indirect objects. You get it? We have direct and indirect objects. Quick one. Any verb that has an object is a transitive verb. I just note that. Any verb that has an object is a transitive verb. Any verb that has an object is a transitive verb. Any verb that has an object is a transitive verb. Okay. Any verb with an object is a transitive verb. So we have two types of objects. We have the direct objects and we have the indirect objects. Now let me show you, give you an example of direct and indirect objects. It's very easy, but many people often mix them up. So looking at the board, The direct object minutes. Let's go down. And they got the direct object answers the question what? The direct object answers the question what in relation to the verb. The indirect object answers the question for or to whom in relation to the verb. The direct object answers the question what. The indirect object answers the question for or to whom. Now let me explain this. Look at the example. We have they bought me a pen. So, of course, we know the subject already. The performer of the action bought they. So are they the subject? Again, are they the subject? What is the verb here? Bought, right? That is the action. So we have SV. Are they bought? Now, what did I look at it? I told you that the indirect object answers the question what? What was bought? What was bought? A pen. A pen was bought. So this is the what? Indirect object. So if you in the exam, if you see IO, know it is indirect object again. If you see IO, know it is indirect object. Sorry. If you see IO, know it is indirect object. Please note, the direct object answers the question what? Abi? Hello? Abi, let me say when I put IO here. The direct object answers the question what? So, what was bought? A pen. So a pen is what? Direct object. What was bought? A pen was bought. A pen is a direct object. To whom or for whom was it bought? It was bought for me. So this is what? Indirect object. So we have a pattern of what? LV, object indirect, object direct. SVOO, that's the sentence pattern. SVOO. So please note, when you have two nouns that are receiving the action, one is always direct, and the second is what? Indirect. Now, for you to separate them, for you to know what is direct and what is indirect, just check. The direct object answers the question, what? So when you look at this, are they bought me a pen? What was bought? A pen. So that's what? Direct. The indirect object answers the question for or to whom. Whom did you buy it? You get me? For whom was it bought? You get it? To whom? It answers that kind of question. So, are they bought what? A pen. Whom did you buy it for? Me. So that's the what? Indirect object. This is one way to know direct and indirect object. Now, another way. Do you know that you can rewrite the sentence? We can rewrite the sentence as, are they bought a pen for me? If we say, are they bought a pen for me? So let's go. Are they subject? Bought verb. So what is a pen? Is a pen the direct or indirect object? It is still the what? Direct object. Okay. So irrespective of how we put it, what am I just trying to tell you? The object can come in any order. The direct will come before the indirect. It doesn't matter. You get me? The direct will come before the indirect. It doesn't matter. So if we have, are they bought a pen? Are they bought what? A pen. So this is what? Direct object. Who will buy for me? This is what? Indirect object. Are they bought a pen for me? Direct and what? Indirect object. Now let me show you a simple trick. Let me show you a simple trick. Apart from using this question. See, the fastest thing, a way to know what direct and indirect is, direct answers the question what? Indirect answers the question for or to whom. But let me show you a faster method to know what is direct and what is indirect. Let's look at the two examples. We have, are they bought a pen for me? 1, 2, are they bought me a pen? Now look at the word. Look at the word. Whenever you see the preposition for or to, whenever there is a preposition before one of the objects, you know that the direct object comes first. Whenever there is a preposition before any of the objects, I want you to know that the direct object comes first. Do you get it? So we have DO and what? IO, indirect objects. So whenever there is a preposition, the preposition usually was for or to. Whenever we have a preposition for or we have a preposition to, note that the direct object comes before the indirect object in that particular instance. But when there is no preposition, the indirect object comes before the direct objects. So it is very easy to identify. If there is a preposition, know that direct object comes first. If there is no preposition, know that what? Indirect object comes first. You get me? So the preposition will tell. Rachel, do you understand? Rachel, do you understand? Hello, Rachel. Alright, so the replays are available. The replays are available. So you can just utilize that. So let's try some questions. Since we have known direct and indirect objects, let's try some questions. Alright, so identify the sentence elements. SB, again, using what? Using the pattern, using SVOCA. Just using S, forget about CA, using SVO. And you need to identify the consequence, exactly. So we have one. Let's just try this 4. So quickly do this 4. Okay. Supply the advanced view of which will also do the exercise. This class will end 12. Should end now, sir. We'll continue tomorrow. Don't do this exercise. Then I'll teach you tomorrow. I'll teach you the other forms of functions of nouns. And then I'll go to the types. You are not it's not effective like that. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So for the first one, we have Amaka. Let's look at this. Amaka is what? Subject, Abi. The verb. The job what? Object. Chinwe. Alright guys, so that'll be all for use of English. That'll be all. We'll do maths later. I don't know if I'm going to stream that. We're having maths tonight, so we're not streaming the maths. We're not going to stream the maths yet. We're having it tonight. So thank you for